Hi, I'm Simon Swift, Engineering Director for Digital Technologies at ETL Systems. I also chair the DIFI Specification Working Group. I sit on the board of DIFI as well, so influence the overall direction of the consortium. And I'm here today to talk to you about the workshop that we did at MILCOM in Washington, DC at the end of 2024. So I kicked off the proceedings on the first slide talking about the Plugfest, which ETL hosted in Europe with UK Space Agency back in June. The Plugfest is a fantastic opportunity for collaboration, and it was absolutely amazing to see so many competitive organisations that are normally at loggerheads together, competing for that one customer, all working together cooperatively to see the standardization tested for the industry. And what that resulted in was actually an unplanned release of the DIFI specification. Release 1.2.1 was actually targeted at some issues we found during the Plugfest. And how great is that during that Plugfest, we found those issues before they came to the customer. And that's one of the things where DIFI's been investing its money into things like the Plugfest to make sure that we find the problems before they end up on your doorstep. Anne-Marie Stanley from Kratos followed up with a review of the content that's going to be going into 1.3.0 of the specification. Things like link establishment and negotiation, TDMA burst synchronization. Jim Rosenberg followed her very, very closely on that into a very technical deep dive into how we use the DIFI protocol for TDMA, FTTDMA, frequency hop spectrum transmissions. The next presentation was from Keith King, who chairs the Specification Working Group. He talked to us about two levels of the certification that are planned for DIFI products: a self-certification level and a third-party certification. Now, all of this is work that's being funded through the DIFI membership fees to help both the customers get their certified equipment and to be fully assured that what they're actually getting from different suppliers is actually going to interoperate and mesh really, really well together as an overall system. John Heskett from KSAT talked to us about the challenges and successes that they've experienced during their implementation of virtualized ground segments and about their next steps in the virtualization journey. That was a really interesting, full, real use case. Next up was Jeremy Turpin from Allspace, who chairs the ESA working group. So electronically steerable antennas are very different use case and very different requirements from parabolic antennas. And DIFI decided that we'd set up a separate working group to address ESAs. Now, this is, I think, demonstrating some of the thought leadership that DIFI is showing overall in the industry. And seeing that wider system picture of how all of the different parts have to go and integrate together to form a cohesive system. Jeremy then led on to a panel discussion on ESAs. So we had a number of people from the ESA industry come together, talk about ESAs. Jeremy fired question after question of them over the period of an hour, which gave us some really insightful views and opinions, which I think the audience was fully enthralled by.